Whoa, a new video. Wow, I didn't see that coming. Been a while. Anyway, so the other day I came across my copy of Terminator 2 Judgment Day for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I thought, how bad could it be? And I honestly couldn't remember because it had been such a long time since I'd seen it. Mild spoiler thing here, by the way. This is kind of going to spoil the first movie if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? But I digress. In any case, I grabbed my copy and I got to playing, and that made me realise, this really, well, you'll kind of see what it's like. Now, this is a NES game, so the technology is old, and that's fine because I love me some retro games. I've got a lot of passion for it, and I think the NES is a great platform, and there's some classic games for it. I'm certainly not going to complain about having this little story section at the front. It's well enough done. As you can probably tell, I've recorded this through an emulator. That's not because I don't own the game, it's simply because it's a lot easier to record. My NES is plugged into a CRT, and it's a little trickier. This is just much simpler. What? You don't believe I own a copy of the game? There. Happy now? It's even still got the cash converter sticker on it, because that's how dedicated I am, or possibly how stupid. But I digress. The thing is, at this time, movie games weren't all that great, but T2 was a huge phenomenon. If you weren't there, it's really hard to explain how big a movie this was. It was the movie of its time. It was, at its time, the most expensive movie ever made on a budget now that really wouldn't get you a commercial made. And so we start, and of course we have the classic Terminator arriving completely naked. Now that will be important in a little bit. And we're starting up on the first level. The excitement pitch is building. What kind of game are we going to get? We're going to get a truck with a tiny little Arnie who can jump and he can punch, because that's what we remember. And I suppose, okay, to be fair, Schwarzenegger hitting people, that was totally a thing in the 80s and the 90s, even now. And, beat-em-up games of the era did try this kind of thing, but this is still ultimately fairly disappointing. You can kind of see what they were going for. This is that iconic first scene where he turns up at the bar, because that's before you actually know whether or not he's the good guy or the bad guy in this movie. Again, spoiler alert for a 25-plus-year-old movie, he's the good Terminator in this. Now, here, when it's saying find leader, by the way, all it really means is beat up a set number of guys before you can progress to the next section. Again, that's standard and very classic stuff for a side-scrolling beat-em-up like this. Must remember to avoid getting run over by those motorcycles all the time. Now, you're probably thinking, hang on, I don't remember all these guys in jeans and white t-shirts in the movie either, and neither do I. Although this does give me the opportunity, I should be able to do so very shortly, to show off one of the weirder parts of this game, which is that, apart from punching people, one of the most effective things that Arnie can do in these early sections is in fact kick them. So if you jump off something and land on these guys, which I should be able to arrange shortly, then you kick them down. It's actually slightly more effective than the punching, which is really weird because, again, Schwarzenegger kicking? No, not really his thing. I mean, if you'd said, hey, we're making a Jean-Claude Van Damme game, then sure, it's all about the kicking and, I suppose, the splits, but I guess Mortal Kombat had that side of things covered, and we're all done with enemies for this section, so I can move on to the next one, and it's, it's more of the same. It's more guys in white tops, and I'm ignoring them pretty badly. You shouldn't actually let them gang up on you because, and I've been terminated because, Schwarzenegger can't take on a few guys in white t-shirts. What hope does he have against the T-1000? I'm starting to get quite worried here, really. I suppose I should avoid them a little bit better than I have been doing, but the problem is that the gameplay just really isn't that varied. And again, the NES can do better than this, and for a game this big and for a movie this important, it really, there goes another motorbike, it really should have. I'm getting distracted again. More guys with long white flowing hair and what I'm guessing they're meant to be clubs or maybe pipes. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not even really sure why they seem to dislike Schwarzenegger so much, because at this stage of the movie I don't think he's actually even said one word. Maybe he's just got one of those faces that people who wander around truck stops with pipes at night want to hit. Maybe he did something to the cat. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. And again, to be fair, the NES isn't really capable of telling us these kinds of things. Now we're nearly to the end of this section, just got a few more guys to beat up, if I can manage that. This one's slightly more frustrating than most because you really do have to kind of hunt and peck, otherwise they will sap away your health. If I'm not careful, that's exactly what will happen. But they're down and I can enter the bar, where of course I'm going to utter the first lines of the movie as uttered by Schwarzenegger. But first, of course, a few more basic dumb guys to beat up. At least this is looking a bit more like the movie itself. Again, not blaming the NES, it's doing what it can with the sprites that it had at the time. Still, this is not a terribly exciting beat-em up, and there are better ones on the NES, if I haven't made that already blatantly clear. And I've been killed again. Gee, it's tough to be a Terminator in this game. But let's see if we can't get through these guys, because I have this feeling there might be a boss fight coming up. Now, if you've seen the movie, and again, if you haven't, look, pause this, go watch it, come back, I'll wait. You back? Good. If you've seen the movie, you know that, yeah, the big boss fight is against a guy who looks like, well, he's kind of maskless Jason Voorhees meets unmasked Kiss, really. It's kind of bizarre, and again, this is a hunt and peck fight. If you try and take him on straight away, you will get beaten up, which, of course, again, is absolutely not what happens in the movie at all. But thankfully, he's not too tough to beat. So what do we get for completing the level? Well, we get boots and clothes. Wait. We get boots and clothes? Weren't we wearing boots and clothes? I mean, to be accurate to the movie, that first bit really should have had Arnold wandering around with his Schwarzenegger out, but didn't so much happen. But at least we've got a gun, we've got a bike. Things can only get better, right? Well, maybe not. Because, you see, the next section tries to recreate that classic bit where he's escaping on the motorbike. John Connor's on the back of the bike, and he's escaping with the T-1000 in the truck. Great sequence in the movie, classic bit of cinema, and you get this dull kind of isometric driving thing, where the idea is you have to shoot the truck, which you can just see there, and if you shoot it enough and you have to be in the dead centre to do it, then you can proceed to the next section, and do it again, and again, and again. But the controls are super floaty, as you can see. I've just been killed there. And it's just, it's a memory puzzle. It's not a fun memory puzzle. And look, I've got to be blatantly clear here. I know that there are future levels in this game. I know there are bits that recreate the steel mill, and that you can run through and do the whole game and, spoiler alert, defeat the T-1000 in the end. But this is as far as I've ever got without getting massively frustrated with this game, because there's so much potential in the T2 license alone. Forget all the other movies, and in fact, given what came later, forgetting all the other movies might not be a bad idea. Forget all the other movies, T2 should be able to make a classic game of all styles. This, though, this is just a mess, and what's more, it's a mess that's not even very fun to play. As such, while I was curious to play it, that most definitely is game over.